show this morning is on wedding themes, and we want to talk about weddings that actually suit you.
Yeah.
So, a wedding theme sets the tone for the big day and guides every aesthetic decision made from that point forward. For that same reason, this can be quite a daunting commitment to make. Do you want to go the romantic route or keep things fresh and modern? With so many variations of wedding styles to choose from, the choice can be an overwhelming one, but it doesn't need to be. Consider what elements speak to you as a couple or as individuals. Perhaps certain colors or design aspects resonate on a deeper level, or maybe some iconic details have sentimental value. From there, you can allow your imagination to run wild and define the theme that best suits you from those benchmarks. Once you pinpoint the theme of your dreams, you can officially move forward with the rest of the wedding plans. And this morning, we'll be talking about how to choose a wedding theme that suits your personality. Now, your wedding theme is the perfect opportunity to make your special day a true reflection of you and your partner's style. When choosing your theme, take some time to think about how you want to remember that day. You want your wedding to include more than trendy decor and Instagram-worthy backdrops. Above all else, it should reflect who you are as a couple. All of the details should join together in perfect harmony, just like the two of you. It's important to choose a wedding theme that you love, but you should also consider how well the theme will age. If you think you may end up looking back and wishing that you had kept it classic and timeless rather than springing for whatever the bridal magazine said was popular that year, then take that into consideration. Our conversation this morning is how to choose a wedding theme that suits your personality.
I just remembered something where you were reading.
What is it?
So when I was in senior secondary school 1, that would have been year 10 in the UK, I remember in class, we're all talking about, how will your wedding day be?
Really?
Yeah. Just a fun conversation that we're having as students. And I remember what as you're talking, it was just coming back to me how I painted what my wedding day would be. So what I said is that I would like my wedding theme to be on the beach. Okay. I would like to get married on a beach. And I want everybody to be in white shirts and jeans.
Nice.
Yeah, so the specific, I was such a naughty kid. Like I said, so I would say that, for instance, and the jeans have to be like short, like really
well, that's appropriate.
Really short jeans, and then like really blue jeans, classic blue jeans, and white shirts, and everybody will have to bring their gifts and put it by the water, and our feet will have to be in the water while the priest or whatever is about we're saying.
In what country?
And apparently Nigeria.
Go on.
Yeah. So I can't remember everything right now, but I just remember that particular description that I was giving to my classmates at the time, that I would like to get married on a beach, and and strictly white shirts and the classic blue jeans. If you don't, the master will throw you out. So funny.
Outdoor weddings are beautiful.
Really?
Outdoor weddings are beautiful. If you have good money for decoration, you would find it is lovely. However, please consider the weather when you are having an outdoor wedding. Personally, I always advise that you do weddings in a marquee or in a hall or somewhere that is covered, that you don't have to, think about the sun or rain or whatever. That's what I always advise. However, if you want to do a destination wedding, if you want to do an outdoor wedding or the beach and everything, I see pictures. I think they're very beautiful. But I also think that somehow people sometimes suffer.
Yeah. Really. I feel like your own wedding would be like very small, very quiet, in a very aesthetic hall, or maybe some blacks here and there.
Are they going to let me? Let's say the truth.
I feel like you won't even want to wear a white wedding gown.
Why are we wearing a white wedding dress? What if, I mean, I really loved that wedding dress that was made in Ankara. I really loved it
right,
so
that's
much.
something you were doing.
It was so beautiful. I was reading comments and I was wondering, what are you people talking about? It was a very beautiful wedding dress.
Actually.
She wasn't, I mean, I get that she defied the status quo and all of that, but it was a beautiful dress.
I think we should actually be intentional about what's it called? We should actually be intentional about overcoming post-colonial, practices, even in our,
day-to-day activities. Your own. This is your personal. Your wedding is personal to you, same as your birthday and some other celebrations that you would have to have for yourself. Why must you consider what every other person wants? I mean, anyways, let's get into how to choose a wedding theme that
let me
suits
take the first one away. So how to choose a wedding theme that suits your personality. The first one is actually to consider your personal style, just like I have considered yours.
Yeah.
All right, so take cues from your wardrobe about what colors you enjoy and the types of pieces you gravitate toward. Even if you choose to wear white, you can incorporate those colors into your bridesmaids' dresses and other components of the wedding. Think of your favorite colors as a couple. If they pair well, that's a great way to add touches of both of your personalities into the wedding theme. If you don't have a favorite color, again, take a look at what colors are present in your day-to-day life to get a sense of what you like. Once you know what colors you like, experiment with different color combinations to see if a theme surfaces organically. These colors can act as a baseline for the theme and help shape the rest of the design elements. I've always been a fan of blue. I'm still a fan of blue. As in, I just love the color blue. Blue and black are like my favorite color. Then the third would be purple. So if I'm to pick a color theme for my wedding, it will be blue. So let's say, for instance, my wife, she likes, maybe red or something like that. We'll have to find a way to mix the blue and the red together to make one particular theme. So I really like this one. It says you need to consider your personal style because it's like your wedding is like an expression of yourself, of the two people who are actually getting married, and it can actually also extend to the two families, but we need to focus on the two people, the man and the woman, or however the case may be, that are getting married, so it's about them, it's about what they like, and funny enough, when the friends of the groom or the bride, when family members, people who know this couple very well, when they come to the wedding, they'll be like, actually, this is his color. Do you understand? So that's the kind of feeling that you want. So that is the kind of, the kind of enjoyment that you want people, because they're not just enjoying your day, they're enjoying you, so enjoying your day and enjoying you, you need to consider the expression of yourself into the presentation of your wedding, essentially.
Will you be fully present with the organization of your wedding?
Fully present?
Yes.
I would like to be. I think I would.
Would you be participating heavily?
Not heavily, but I would like to participate.
Okay.
I would like that, somebody or my family members or whatever the case may be, I give them what I like, and then but obviously then they're designing it and putting it together. But then it's also is this okay? Is this okay? Is this okay? I don't know, for me. And then there's another thing. There's one thing I definitely want to do on my wedding. I want to like have like an art gallery kind of theme.
Okay.
Because I'm an artist and I love art exhibitions. But the art gallery will be like a journey of our love. So cheesy.
I've seen something like that before. Yeah. But okay, so I attended one wedding that outside the wedding they had what's it called now? They printed out the list of the persons that they want and the tables that they will be sitting outside the wedding. The amount of people that were at that wedding were no more than 200 tops. But then all the tables were numbered and the names of the persons that were meant to be seated at the table was outside the wedding. So as you come in, you get a tag. So you look for your name on that list. There is an usher, and then there is a tag that they give to you. So as you're entering, they already know where you're sitting, and so they take you to your seat and all of that. So as you're walking through the hallway, you're experiencing something. There's like an experience. So there's like a gallery of these people and all. So they put celebrating our love, and then they had pictures of how they started, blah blah blah, and then what they are now, their pre-wedding photo shoots, etc. And then of course, so the next experience you're meant to have is the wedding. Yeah. Do you understand?
That's interesting. So it's all part of the ambience, like an ambience.
Everything, the flowers, the lights, they were very intentional. It wasn't very big.
Yeah.
And then the mood, because they were changing lights and colors and all of that. How you were seated, what you were meant to do, what you were meant to wear. Everything was stated. In fact, they stated it explicitly on the invitation that they don't want gifts. Yes, that they want money.
Interesting.
Yes, so they don't want material gifts. I will rather that you give them money if you really want to, but it's okay that your presence is very important if you're coming, and that's it. And if you're bringing a +1, don't.
Well.
I mean, just so we know, if you're bringing a +1 to my wedding, thank you. Don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the next pointer we have for you is to consider the venue. What does the venue inspire? Now, think about the dream wedding you envisioned. Your venue can play a defining role in your wedding's theme. So pick one that complements rather than clashes with it. Always keep your budget in mind, though. Since the venue represents a significant portion of your costs, you might need to plan your theme around what you can create within that space. Sometimes a venue will do a lot of heavy lifting for your theme. For example, if you're getting married on the beach or near water, that backdrop can contribute to an ocean-inspired or nautical theme. If you're getting married in a romantic garden, that can complement a classic or princess theme. An outdoor or barn wedding add a rustic country vibe to your wedding theme. Venue is actually very important.
Yes.
Venue helps you to determine how many people you actually want at the wedding, how many people you can budget for, food-wise and, space-wise, souvenir-wise and all these kind of things. But also, talking about, before we took Self-Help O'Clock, we're talking about the ambience of a particular wedding, how you want people to maybe experience something, or how comfortable you want people to be in your wedding. So the venue that you decide to do your wedding helps you to actually determine this, right?
Yes. If you can solve the question, where is the location of your wedding, you've solved almost 30% of the wedding hullabaloo.
Yeah.
Because most times people will do so many things, and then when it gets to where am I going to have this wedding, it becomes a problem. In fact, some people have it sorted already. Some people want their weddings to be in their house. Or their compound, rather, their family compound. They would just get tents and then they would get the wedding done there. While some people want an elaborate wedding, they would rather get a hall. Some people would want probably a beach wedding, a garden wedding, a street side wedding. I've seen weddings, I don't know if it happens in anywhere. I don't know if it happens elsewhere around the world, but there are some spaces in Nigeria where they will block the estate gates, they will block the streets and all of that just to do or have a wedding ceremony.
I think that should be great. I think it's even illegal now.
I think it's illegal.
Yeah,
now,
sure.
did you see those rules? We'll talk about that later. But anyways, if you're able to solve your location problems, I think you are sorted. Because another thing is people would want to consider distance.
Yeah.
In Lagos, where should we do our wedding? Should it be on the island? Should it be on the mainland?
Where people can get to, basically.
Where can people get through, basically? Yes. If I'm getting people coming from Ibadan, people coming from Abeokuta, where would be preferable for them to get to? If I am having people coming from London, America, where is better? Where would they get suitable hotels? Is transportation easy there? You know, all of these things. Can food get there on time? You know, all of these things. You need to consider them before you choose a location. Now, when you're even choosing a location, you're also thinking about capacity.
Yeah.
What is the capacity you are looking at? Is it a 200-seater hall, 500-seater or 1,000-seater hall? You are thinking of what are the facilities that this hall is providing? Will there be lights? Will there be air conditioning? Will there be tables, chairs?
The toilets clean?
Thank you so much. How far? I made one interesting research one time, and then I saw that, you know, there are some event centers that would ask you to bring mobile toilets. Yeah, they say they don't have toilets in their event centers at all.
Wow.
You have to get mobile toilets, or if they get mobile toilets
is
for
it that
you,
they're not willing to open the toilets for you?
they don't have.
How can you have a building without a toilet?
You will be surprised.
That's very interesting.
It's interesting. You will be surprised the amount of things that you would find out while you are doing
That's very
research
interesting.
in halls. They had to, and I was so angry. I was
That's
like,
very interesting.
I'm like, what
Are you serious?
Like, excuse me, what do you have a hall for?
Wow.
Again? I mean, so it's so cool to see all these kind of things. I mean, I've been to a hall where, I'm going to share one. There was this event that they helped plan very recently.
Yeah.
And they have stairs. Like, the event centers are on different levels. But then the biggest halls are upstairs. And you know that people will be carrying speakers, food, coolers, and all of that. They have an elevator. However, you have to pay. And then you have to pay to use the elevator that is in the building to get your things up.
Lagos, back when I ride. What is that?
I know. And Lagos is cruise.
What?
I am telling you. I mean, if you are coming to the amusement park, you know that you're coming to have fun and you're paying for that. I paid for the hall. I'm expecting that
so
it
is
comes
that there's somebody in the elevator collecting money?
There is somebody in front that is the elevator operator that will help you make sure that all the things that you're putting in the elevator is not more than the kilograms that are meant to be on it, because I mean there is an amount. And then you're meant to, so it's either you pay a what's it called now? A designated fee, or you negotiate.
What?
Or they ask you to go and take the stairs.
Walking up the stairs is free.
Walking up the stairs is extremely free, and it is so far.
They're not serious.
And you know,
scamming behavior.
The funny thing is, I asked, is the elevator working? The guy said, the guy that I was talking to said, yes, the elevator is working and all of that. And then when the band guys and everybody came, and then they were about to get the speakers up and everything, they just called me up and said, ma'am, so something's happening downstairs. We'd like you to come and say. And then I came downstairs, I was like, okay, what's happening? And then the elevator operator goes like, I'm sorry, but before you can get all this heavy equipment upstairs, you'd have to pay an amount.
Wow.
I'm like,
wow, Lagos.
I'm telling you, Lagos is interesting. You will see, as we're taking all of these themes, I would share some of my experiences with some of these events.
That's so interesting.
And all that. So you need to consider and please ask all the questions necessary.
But you wouldn't even think to ask, is the elevator free?
Why would I ask? But now I will ask if I am going to.
That's very interesting.
I would have to ask now, because I didn't think that it would be a problem.
Does your facility have a toilet? What kind of questions
I think you need
these?
to ask, and how close is the toilet to the hall?
Wow.
Because there are some people that their facilities, the toilets are like...
As in, the question is, where is the toilet? Not, does your facility have a toilet? What?
Please ask, please, I beg you.
That's very interesting.
I need you to ask if your facility has a toilet. That's one. Also, find out if they have air conditioning. Find out if they have chairs, if they have tables. Find out if they have a stage. That is, if you want a stage for your wedding. Then find out if it is well ventilated. Where are the exit points? Find out if they are the ones providing security, or you are the one bringing your security. Find out, so many things. Find out about lights. Find out about sockets. The minutest things, you'd be surprised. In fact, there are some event centers that would ask you to pay for cleaning. Yes. So you have to find out all the things that you need to pay for. Are your vendors going to be paying for stands? Are your vendors going to be paying for, places where they'll be putting their things? What are the things that I'm paying for? What are the things that are needed? What is the capacity? Now that there is COVID restriction, find out if your event center has a permit to hold an event. Don't be surprised that you're holding an event and then one person just comes up and says, please, let's close everything up. And find out what is the, what's it called now?
Interesting.
What is the approved amount of persons that should be at your event center?
Yeah.
What are the rules? You need to find out all of these things, because if you don't, you will be surprised. Like magic.
Unfortunate surprise.
A very unfortunate surprise. All right. This next one says, let the season inspire you. The time of year may not seem relevant to the theme, but it is an important consideration to take into account. For instance, a beach-themed wedding might not hold true to form if there is snow on the ground or if it's a rainy season. Similarly, a black tie affair might lose its charm during the sweaty summer months, especially if it is held outdoors. Thinking about when your wedding will take place can also help you craft a theme. The season can even act as a theme itself. Look at seasonal details to find additional inspiration. I've said it, I'm not a big fan of outdoor weddings because there's so many things you have to consider. You have to consider the weather, you have to consider the people that would be there, and then for ladies, I'll be wearing makeup and all of that. You have to consider if it is sunny or not, so many things and all of that. However, if you are going to have weddings like that, I think you should pay attention to the season. There's a reason why you want your wedding to look a certain way. So, if you are planning a beach wedding when it is snowing, I don't think you will get I don't think you will get the feel that you're looking for. Or a beach
wedding in like rainy season in Lagos. That's very risky.
That's a very risky thing to do, because anything can happen at that point. So you need to, it has been raining. So you need to pay very close attention to everything. If you want a garden wedding and you didn't expect it to rain, and then you didn't plan for tents and all of that. No, maybe you shouldn't do that. So, if you want a Christmas wedding and you're planning it towards December and then it's going to be snowing, yes, that's a wonderful one. In fact, you don't need to, have fake snow and all of that. It will come naturally and blissfully. You'll be there all night and all of that. Just make sure people have jackets.
But, I feel like, I don't know, seasonal weddings, they are not really timeless anymore, are they? Because, for instance, like the Christmas one that we saw on the screen, like it's not, it's not timeless again. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
because it's not something that can be viewed as, because I feel like, what makes a classic wedding picture is that it's timeless. You don't add when you look at it, you just look at a wedding. You don't see, for instance, a Christmas wedding or an Easter wedding. Do you understand? So I don't know if, it's each to their own, to be honest, but, I don't know. I just think that it doesn't make it timeless in many ways.
I get you, but then I want to believe that there are reasons why people do what they do.
Yeah.
I want to believe that there are reasons why you would pick December, or, it might not even be December. It might just be a Christmas theme in July. I know, even though I would prefer that you do a Christmas themed wedding in December.
In Christmas.
It makes it easy. It makes everybody look uniform and all of that. But yes, I understand that part where you're talking about timeless, but I think it really depends. It matters to the people that are doing the wedding. There's a reason why they've decided to want to do it on Christmas Day, and they can put it in their homes. And, they can view it anytime they want to. It makes sense to them.
Yeah, okay.
So, however, it probably may not make sense to us, because when we come to their house, we'll always be wondering, why do you have your Christmas, on?
Pictures up.
Why? It's April, people.
Yeah.
It's Easter time.
Yeah, but then,
it's it's what they want to do, it's how they feel, it's what they want to go on with, it's how they want to remember their wedding. It's their own special day. I shouldn't be the one making a decision for them on how they should celebrate their holy matrimony and all of that. So, but I just think that maybe they should just consider a little bit in making things classic.
Actually.
Really.
All right, so the next one is actually on the dress code. Think about the dress code. Do you have a specific dress code in mind for your wedding? The vibe you want to feel throughout the day can be affected by how well it plays into the theme of the wedding. Asking guests to dress for a formal or black tie event will create a certain upscale and classy atmosphere. Consider how different themes will play into that dress code. Your photos may end up looking a bit funny if you plan a DIY rustic wedding with a black tie dress code. Similarly, if you are planning a glamorous princess or formal themed wedding, then a casual or semi-formal dress code might make guests feel underdressed compared to the aesthetic of the event. When deciding on the dress code, think about how you are as a couple. Are you laid back or are you always on trend? Dress formally, look at your style collectively and use that to choose a theme that is best suited to both of your personalities. Talking about dress code, there was this picture that was making rounds on the internet, I think about 3 weeks ago or something like this, of this guy that got married in a tank top and jeans, short jeans.
Yes, I saw it.
Very interesting. So a lot of people were coming at him like, why will you go to your wedding like that? I know because his wife was in leave them. He said because his wife was in like a full wedding gown and all these kind of things. And but then the comments were actually quite like diverse. So some people were like, oh, it's his wedding. And the wife seemed very happy.
She was all smiles and enjoying herself.
Yeah, that means she understands her partner. She understands that this guy is a bit maybe eccentric or whatever the case may be. So the dress code for your wedding is actually important to the couple that is holding said wedding. So for instance, if you want like a ball, a ball theme for your wedding, and then you decide rather that the dress code is you want like a princess ball theme, so you're going to be expecting very glamorous flamboyant dresses from your guests. If you want like a mask wedding,
love it.
Exactly, so all those like masks that they hold on their faces and all these kind of things. If you want a casual wedding that's I actually saw a wedding. I saw wedding pictures of, it was a superhero wedding. So they dressed as like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, all these kind of things. So they dressed as superheroes and they came for a wedding. Some people might look at that and be like, oh, you're probably playing too much. But that is what the couple wants. And it was actually very colorful.
They would laugh and just be happy.
It was so colorful, see like, different people, Spider-Man, sports belly and all this kind of thing. So,
so nice.
The couple determines what dress code that they want. And I think that it should not be judged, that a couple and it even goes back to what I was saying about, designing your wedding according to seasons. So what we saw in that Christmas photo was the dress code was obviously determined, like a Christmas feel. The bride's chain, what do you call it? The bride's
train.
Yeah, the bridal train were all in red, and then the guys as well, obviously in their suits. So that signifies the whole Christmas feel. So in Nigeria, there's actually usually a dress code, but it's not a dress code per se, but it's usually a color code. Actually,
no,
isn't it?
No.
So they'll say wear green with a touch of, maybe they'll say wear Corona red with a touch of, recycling green.
What is wrong with you? Really? So I think that it depends on who is doing the wedding, what the wedding is for, what the theme is that we're talking about, as we're discussing rather. And some people are very particular about what their guests are wearing and how their guests will show up. I mean, I've attended a wedding that they told us strictly black tie. So strictly black tie, and that is what it is. In fact, I have not seen a wedding invitation that doesn't have a color code or a dress code.
Yeah.
I've really not seen.
I think the average Nigerian wedding is more color code than dress code, though.
Yeah, it's more, more color code than dress code. However, the bridal party has a dress code.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's a must do. A bridal party must have a dress code. In fact, the color from the groom's side has to correspond with the color on the bride's side. So probably the guys are wearing black, maybe the girls will be wearing pink, and then the guys will probably wear pink tie, and then it corresponds because they would have partners and they would dancing and all of those things, and then maybe the flower bouquet or whatever that they are holding. There's something they call it. There's this flower thing that the bridesmaids hold. I can't remember, but I'll remember later
the
on.
bouquet?
So, the bouquet, there's another name, like single flowers and all of that. I'll check. Maybe I'm mixing it up in my head. So, those things are very important for somebody that cares for a bridal party. Because I've also seen a bride and a groom that did not have a bridal party.
Did you see the pictures from the Ayinla movie premiere?
Yes, I did.
Oh my goodness! They had a particular dress code for that, and it was. I think I didn't see the direction, but I'm guessing it was something to do with colorful.
I think it was elegance or something.
Yeah, elegance. But what's that hard Yoruba material? That
okay, Ashoke.
Ashoke, is that it? Even the ones that they made. So I think it was something along that line, but very bright colored. Oh, that was so nice. So that for instance, can be someone's dress code to their wedding. You're talking about debunking post-colonial mentalities of doing things.
But don't you think dress code sometimes can be stressful?
Why?
I mean, for you to actually sit down to determine what would people wear, how should people show up, where they would sit, for people that are meticulous about seating arrangements and had aesthetics and all of that. For someone that doesn't care, that just wants people to come to their party, it won't be as stressful because, let everybody do whatever they want.
You have been on the plan and on the side of organizing. How would it be stressful, though?
Okay, so if you are the person that is determining what, how people will show up and how you want them to show up, where they'll be sitting, and how they would be out. The whole event would be maybe a bit stressful deciding what you want as a dress code or as a theme. Your theme would inform the dress code, you understand? So from that process, there's already a lot of thinking that goes into it. It gets worse if you do not have a wedding planner or an event planner. I've seen couples plan their own wedding. It's a very stressful thing to do. I would always advise that you get a planner, but I mean, different strokes for different folks. So I would rather you sit down from the onset. In fact, while you are dating your partner, start having that conversation. What is the theme of our wedding? I think you guys should start talking about it. I think the earlier you start planning, the better for you. I'm serious. It might be a joke. It might be let it come in your conversations, especially when you know this is.
That's when you know you get it.
Yeah, that's why I said when you know that this is the person you want to marry. Start having all the conversations.
That's true.
What do you want us to wear? How do you want our wedding to be? How many days should be our wedding? Where are we getting married? All of this is having your conversations.
How many days?
How many days? Yes, I was talking about the Northerners and how they celebrate their events per week. And also, let us know. Do we want to have? Some people also have their weddings, the engagement ceremony, the traditional wedding, the church wedding, the court, everything in one day. Some people do that, while some people do 3-4 days. All of these things, have that conversation. Do you want your wedding to be traditionally themed? How do you want it to be infused with each other? I mean, I've seen people, do their church wedding first and then later come to do their traditional wedding after the church wedding and the reception in the traditional wedding. I have seen people do the traditional wedding first. All of these things, have that conversation. How do you want people to be dressed? What foods are we eating? How much are we spending? All these conversations, is always better that you have them early so you are not as stressed. Because some people fall ill after the wedding, and that shouldn't be your case. You should be resting, flexing, glowing. That's what you should be doing, not stressing and paying debts.
Yeah, actually.
That's another thing. Plan your wedding within your budget and everything. So for the dress code, I really think that when you have your theme, your dress code should not be that stressful. So if our theme for the wedding is bitch.
Okay. I would think that dress code will be more stressful for the guest. because, for instance, they will now have to. For instance, if you say something like for a superhero theme, that means you'll have to actually actively go out to buy
it's also
a superhero costume. Do you understand? So if you say something like you want a ball theme, like a princess ball, Cinderella theme, something.
So upset. I'm like, what is your problem?
Do you understand?
Why are you stressing me?
And those kind of dresses can be quite expensive to actually put together.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's more for dress code though. I'm not talking about the wedding as a whole, but I feel like dress code would probably be more stressful for the guests than the couple.
I think it's a boomerang or a ripple effect. So that there will be questions asked.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, if you're my friend and you tell me that you want me to come to your wedding as a UFC person.
Why?
A UFC personality to your wedding. For instance, you tell me to be the style bender.
The what?
The style, is that not
style bender?
Yeah, style bender, Israel.
Oh my goodness.
And for instance, you ask me to dress as a style bender, I will call you up.
Oh my goodness.
So what shorts are we wearing?
That would be very strange, Omobolade. I would not. Now you're getting into my head, and I might just, to spite you, I might just do that.
Well, I mean, I said it first, but okay, whatever. All right, this next one says, go personal versus trendy. When it comes to your wedding, there is so much inspiration and content out there. It can be easy to get confused or caught up in the trendiness of it all. Adding personal touches to your wedding will make it a reflection of you instead of a generic Pinterest fest. Try to find ways to incorporate you and your partner's genuine interests in the theme. If you have an affinity for the 1920s or another decade, add touches from those decades to the decor in subtle ways. Does your spouse-to-be love sports? Add trophy-inspired centerpieces to the tables for a touch of their interests as well. You don't need to go overboard with the details, but adding small things that remind you of each other will make the day more memorable. Another way to incorporate your personality into wedding is to pay tribute to your family or culture. Allow yourself to combine traditional aspects of your heritage with a modern twist. The mixture will be unique to you as a couple, and your family will love the homage to their roots. Yes, actually. However, I just think that you should be as classic as possible when you are picking all of these things. I mean, I like how this write-up has said, whatever it is that you want to put in your wedding ceremony, make sure that there are little things so that, all your desires are not overwhelming. All the things are not jumbled up. The colors are not clashing. It's not disoriented. I mean, if your parents love blue, if you love green, if you love yellow, if the other person likes red, tints of those things here and there. It shouldn't be all over the place. They all should look coordinated and look very nice. You don't have to follow trend.
Yeah.
You don't have to follow trend. Let me look at the right place. You don't have to follow trend, for goodness sakes. Please do not follow trend. I would expect that you sit down, you map things out, have conversations with professionals and friends and all of that. See how you can infuse these two things together. If you can afford it, you can go all out in getting very nice new things. I mean, I like how, the write-up says you can infuse sports if your partner likes sports and all of that, but it doesn't have to be everywhere. Banners and trophies and all that. No, it can be little hints here and there just for people to say, I see what you did there and all of that. There might be little trophies here and there, might be, blues here and there, might be a logo here and there, it might be something. I mean, you don't have to make the cake of blues, really. I'm just saying, you don't have to do that. That would be very strict.
This shade, I don't like this shade this morning.
What shade?
All this shade you're throwing at me.
I'm not really.
Why won't you put up blues on the wedding cake? What do you mean?
Do you want that?
Yeah, of course, I want one with Champions League trophy on itself. But
really?
Sorry, the cameraman is not happy with me this one. Okay, all right. So one way to actually make your wedding very personal, I think, would be, I don't know. So your family, you might think your family members know you very well.
Yeah.
But they might not know you as personal as some of your friends actually do.
True.
Yeah, actually. And your friends might not know you as personal as some of your family members do. So I think the way you can solve that problem is to, for instance, if you are the kind that wants to get a wedding planner, get a wedding planner, get a family member, and get a member of your friend, like one of your friends, and let that be the theme. Let them be the team, rather. So then they're asking you questions. So you yourself, so imagine a person that doesn't even really know what they like. Do you understand? That doesn't really know if what they like will be appropriate for a theme. Now, it's going to be the job of the wedding planner, the family member, and the friend of said bride and groom, or bride and groom, do you understand? Bride and groom, rather, to actually now begin to pull out those information from the bride and the groom. Do you understand? So they're asking questions, and based on the answers that the bride and the groom are giving, they're using it to create a particular theme. So what then happens, obviously, is that the couple that gets married, they have to yes the idea and the theme that these people are going to go with. So I'm saying this because if it might be, a couple might find it difficult opening up to a wedding planner who they've never met before, who is essentially a stranger. But when there's a family member in the mix, and there's a friend of the bride or the groom, or the bride and groom, it makes it easier to have these conversations. And they're like, I don't remember that time that, you understand? And family members are, I remember when you were small. So I think it makes a good mix so that they're able to get the best out of the wedding for the actual couple.
I saw one wedding ceremony decor that was very interesting. So the picture gallery had hangings of their baby photos.
Yeah.
There were flowers and all of that. Like, it was, this thing where they would string it up and then it was hanging and everything. And then when it turns around, it shows them as adults and all of that. It was so nice and
That's
very
cute.
thoughtful. And that was cool. And then, while people were taking pictures, it was there in the frame. And then I was like, nice. I mean, people actually put a lot of effort and thinking and energy into planning how the wedding should look like.